years, I mean like over a decade, I've been concerned and looking into the concept of smart cities and what does it mean. Anytime I hear that terminology, especially locally, it sends chills down my spine because I know now, after my years and years of research, exactly what this stuff is. Well, 2 or 3 days ago, I was reading through the Gateway Pundit, and I found an article, and here's the title of the article: Smart cities worldwide are being converted into open-air concentration camps, says ex-Silicon Valley engineer turned whistleblower. So I thought, I mean, this is barking right up my tree here. So I read further, and it says, Aman Jabi is a native of India and an engineer who worked in Silicon Valley for 25 years. He's a co-inventor of 2 cell phone camera apps. He immigrated to the United States in 1988 because he admired America's culture of liberty and ingenuity. And I can understand why. Back in 1988, we were full of liberty and ingenuity. Of course, you look around today, I don't know if that same guy would have still moved here based on what's going on today in Biden's America, but let's move on. Jabi now lives in Big Fort, Montana, and has become, in my opinion, one of the most important whistleblowers and voices of warning about the coming beast system. And yeah, I didn't stutter. It's the beast system. We're definitely, maybe we're not totally in it right now, but we're certainly heading that direction. Some of the most advanced elements of this infrastructure, as Jabi points out, are in states like Florida and Georgia and other red states. So even though you may be in a red state and you think, oh yeah, I've got all conservatives and Republicans in my state, so they'll put a stop to this. Many states like Florida, Georgia, and other red states have not put a stop to it. In fact, Texas is another one. A couple of the biggest smart cities there are Dallas and Austin, Texas. So something to consider. If you live down in that area, just know you're being monitored, and it's going to continue to get more and more and more invasive as time goes on. So let's continue on. The way to defeat this system is so simple and yet so difficult. One thing I can promise you is that we will never be able to vote our way out of it because the same people who are laying the infrastructure for smart cities worldwide are in control of these systems internationally. So I mean, that's huge. That's saying a lot. That's to me a strike against the idea of a one world government. All we have to do is say no, reject the tools of our enslavement that are offered on a shiny silver platter that looks so enticing. We must recognize that these are the very same tools and products that make our busy 21st century lives so convenient, so efficient, and so entertaining. This is how the globalists intend on breaking the backs of free Americans. They will do it through our finances, through the healthcare system, and through the entertainment system. I think we've seen a lot of that, especially in the last few years. Digital ID cards disguised as health passports or smart health cards will be required to work a job, to access the internet, and coming digital bank accounts or digital wallets. The convergence of all these systems will make sure, in the words of the UN Agenda 2030, no person gets left behind. When I hear that, and UN, this comes straight from the UN, no person gets left behind. What that means, that's threatening to me as a person that values liberty and individual sovereignty and individual liberty and things like that. That's a threat to guys like me. By the time most people wake up and see that they have walked into a trap, it will be too late. They will have all of your data. They will know everything about you, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your vulnerabilities. What Jabi is describing in the above video is extremely invasive technology being set up in smart cities, from license plate readers to smart lights and smart poles to smart cars and smart neighborhoods, smart homes and smart appliances, all connected to 5G and wirelessly communicating with each other. And again, we've walked ourselves right into this trap in the name of convenience, and I think that's one of the things he does a great job of pointing this out in this article. Continuing on. If you pay attention, you will see hundreds of these LED light poles lining the streets and highways. In many cases, they are retrofitted with surveillance cameras and speakers for listening. Jabi also talks about drone charging stations being set up and how drones might be weaponized against the citizens. I don't know if you caught it or not, but like last week, there were a whole bunch of Chinese drones caught flying over Washington, D.C. I mean, that's a national security issue. I don't know how the commie-in-chief is going to handle it or his people, but they probably won't do anything. All of this weaponized infrastructure is being installed with federal money, your tax dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars tucked into Joe Biden's infrastructure bill, as well as his Inflation Reduction Act bill, both of which were passed by Congress with help from Republicans. So we can't even count on the Republicans to hold the line. They talk the big talk when they're running, but then when they get in there, they vote for all this stuff that's basically selling our kids down the river, and us too. City and county leaders are fools for the federal grants. They typically don't even question what they're buying into with someone else's money. To them, it's just free money to invest in local infrastructure. I mean, and That's why it's important for us to get involved on a local level, is to be able to get out in front of this stuff. And many of these city and county leaders have no idea. When you start saying things, that's one of the problems with the way the media is structured right now. If you question the mainstream media, or if you question the Agenda 2030, then they're going to call you a tinfoil hat, conspiracy theorist. And on the other side of their mouth, they'll be saying how wonderful the Agenda 2030 is going to be when they implement it. It's just a complete bizarro world. So let's get into some examples here of what's going on in these smart cities. Number one, our streets are spying on us. Many of these LED smart lights are outfitted with what's called a puke ray, and it's P-U-K-E, like, vomiting, puke ray technology, which can be weaponized and used to incapacitate humans. This is a military technology being applied in our cities for potential use against civilians, courtesy of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. All major intersections in smart cities have digital surveillance cameras. Pay attention to the interstate highways, which are also now being outfitted with this technology. These cameras will be capable of logging the license plates of every car that passes by in real time. And thanks to 5G, they'll be able to upload it immediately and track people down. Where before the towers were far enough apart, they couldn't track you as accurately. Well, now they'll have, real-time, very, very precise tracking capabilities. Cameras and listening devices are going up everywhere in large, medium, and even smaller cities. Our cell phones are spying on us. Your cell phone is listening to you as well. And many of the newest phones are capable of tracking your eye movement on the screen. That is just scary. They're listening in. They're watching, they're analyzing, they're learning. Then it repeats the process, Joby said. It's an open concentration camp for surveillance. And all of this technology is not for our safety and security as advertised. It's to grab data and to use it to change your behavior. Meaning the data will be used to enforce the coming social credit score system on all Americans and free people everywhere. I know not too long ago when you mentioned the words, social credit score, people would be like, no, that's just in China. That'll never happen here. We're the land of the free, the home of the brave, right? Well, then they came out with this backdoor way of doing it to our corporations called ESGs. Look it up sometime. It's scary. It's part of the reason we're having such energy problems with the prices of gasoline and stuff like that. But anyway, I digress. Our appliances are spying on us. If you have one of the newer models of refrigerators that digitally tracks your fridge's inventory, all that data is being logged for future use against you. Eating too much meat and dairy, your social credit score just got lowered a notch because the globalists don't like us eating meat. It's not sustainable in their vision for the world. Of course, they'll eat all the meat they want. Don't worry about Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates and all the other rich elites. They'll be able to eat all the meat they want. You will have to eat Z-bugs. Our cars are spying on us. By 2025, Joby said every new car will have a minimum of 16 cameras, all digitally connected and feeding information via the internet and 5G. Driving too much outside of your home base, adding unnecessarily to your carbon footprint, that is a waste of gasoline, and your social credit score just ticked down another notch. Our banks are spying on us. It's already been confirmed earlier this year that major banks and credit card companies track your purchases of guns and ammunition, and all of the big banks are experimenting with a voluntary carbon tracker app that notifies you of a carbon footprint, of your carbon footprint. This is just a warm-up for when they launch the new digital money, when keeping track of your carbon output no longer falls under the voluntary mode. In other words, they're going to start forcing you to do stuff because they'll have control of your purse strings. That's very dangerous. Our digital thermostats are spying on us. Remember how that worked out in Colorado this summer when people enrolled in a voluntary temperature monitoring program suddenly lost all control over their home's thermostats? The goal is to digitally map all things living and non-living. Even every tree and bush in nature will have a digital ID because once you catalog them and map them, you can now track them and control them. The infrastructure for a lockdown, police state, is already in place. Remember the COVID lockdowns? They can do it again, and they're really wanting to do that again, except for this time around, it may be because of global warming or climate change or whatever they want to call it that day. There are 1 billion digital surveillance cameras connected to the internet worldwide, and 50 million of them are in the U.S. That's more per capita than they have in China, according to Joby. So, that should blow your mind right there. They're tracking us more already than they do in China. And, if you've seen the social credit score stuff that they've got going on over there, it's nightmare Orwellian stuff. It's just, you can't make it up. The difference is that in China, the people know they are being watched 24/7, and they are compliant because they know there will be penalties for violating the rules. They know they are slaves, and they accept it. So that's the only real difference is they know they're slaves, we don't. In the U.S., they're already doing this surveillance, Joby says. The only difference is they haven't told us yet. We're already in the same global system of surveillance. Some call it the Internet of Eyes, but...
Talk about about the rabbit hole that I fell down while researching information for our previous video. Our previous video was about how your television is literally like a patented weapon device to like brainwash you, basically. And while researching that patent, I unknowingly to me at the time fell down like an insane rabbit hole. It's just nuts. So we're gonna talk about it. But before I go any further, you already know I have to give a disclaimer or they're gonna take this video down. So this video was made strictly for entertainment purposes only. Nothing in this video is actual. And let's just say the whole video is scripted. Okay, hopefully that's good enough. Now let's get into it. So on the own website, I was looking up the specific patent for our previous video, and I came across a list of all the current directed energy weapons that the against us, without our knowledge, obviously, because like I didn't consent to any of this. Let me know if you guys did, but I highly doubt it. So I'm gonna point out a few that I think are like the most worth pointing out, and then at the end of the video, I'm gonna include like an entire patent list of every patent that I found, and you guys can go look up, you know, the information on your own. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video because like I promise there's so many on there that you're gonna wanna go look it up. All right, now let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's the list, and at the top, in that blue like bar right there at the top, it literally reads directed energy weapons / targeted individual patents / targeted individual patents. So like patents that they took out on targeted individuals. And just in case you didn't know, anybody can become a targeted individual like at any time, whenever they deem it necessary. Now let's go over a few of these. Mind you, every single one I'm talking about is its own directed energy weapon. All right, so here's the patent number for what I'm talking about right up here. You can always go look this up for yourself. I always encourage that. This patent is for remotely transmitting intelligible subjective sounds into a target's consciousness, or they call it voice to skull. I think that's cute. Love your little nicknames, bro. So basically, for those of you who don't speak government, remotely transmit subjective intelligible sound into target consciousness basically means that they're going to be able to remotely, not from anywhere near you, but from like a faraway location, be able to put a certain sound into like a specific person's brain or consciousness, like whatever person they want, whenever they want. Or like a thought or whatever, and you would think it's organic. And patent number is used for subliminal manipulation of a subject's emotions via remotely directed audio waves. Or in other words, they can make you feel whatever frickin' way they want to just by manipulating some audio waves around you. This next one is really fucking trippy, dude. So for patent number, this one is called the ventriloquist effect. And it makes a voice emanate from individuals who did not intend to release it. Or in other words, it can make you talk when you didn't mean to. Fucking ventriloquist effect. For the patent number up there. This patent can control your brain state by placing engineered EMF patterns into the AC wiring of buildings. I fucking shit you not, dude. And don't look up this next patent if you ever want to be able to go to the dentist again without being horrified. Because this patent is for an oral electronic tracking device that can be implanted in teeth, dentures, or braces. And then this patent can induce whatever desired emotional state through EMF patterns. For instance, sleepiness or arousal, anything they want you to feel. Or how about this next patent? Yet another nickname, they call it the rock the baby sensation. And it remotely causes the subject to feel their body swaying. Like they just experienced an earthquake or something. This next one, I think we all knew it existed, but this patent controls human brain waves by superimposing hidden phrases into music signals. I mean, I already knew they were doing that, but you know, if you want to see the patent that proves it, there it is. Okay, these next two really me. So this patent can remotely monitor your heart rate and perspiration through the use of directed EMFs. Yeah, you heard me right. And after I tell you this one, you guys like are never gonna touch your phone again, but check this. This next patent is, of course, for your phone. It doesn't exactly say that, but I mean, come on. It's for monitoring vital signs of a subject via a remote application of radar waves through a handheld device. So your phone. And then this patent is dream alteration. Like literally your own fucking dreams aren't even your own, dude. And here's like the directed energy weapons that we know are like regular directed energy weapons, right? Here's the proof of them. Got the patents and everything. So this patent number allows for extremely precise aim of particle beams, aka over distances of up to several thousand miles. And then this patent number just like helps that, because it's an imaging device that improves the aim of directed energy weapons. Because of course they want to like be able to see the target before they like blow it up, right? Because we all know they don't want to hit Oprah's property or anything. I'm just saying. At this point, that disclaimer's not going to be good enough. I swear they're going to take this shit down. Y'all are probably going to have to go to my YouTube or Facebook to watch this. Okay, but wait, listen to this next one. This helps monitor and determine undesirable behaviors in humans via wireless microphones in vehicles, personal property, and homes. So like, this is a patent to bug my home, basically, and listen for undesirable behaviors. Well then, I guess I should start checking my house for bugs, cause... And then this patent is a method that helps them monitor community mood by remotely monitoring voices, text, and biometrics. So basically at any time they can just be like, how's this community feeling about me today? Are they listening to Katie too much? And then this next patent is an X-ray inspection device that can sense the presence of humans within structures, within your home. You know where you are. Again, I'm gonna ask, did anybody consent to this shit? And then you're gonna say, okay, Katie, I know, but like they're not using this stuff all the time, right? Like it's only for targeted individuals, only at some times, right? Nope. Listen to this last patent that I have for you. This patent number is for the power system, and it is to maintain the directed energy weapons in a ready state. Or in other words, so they never have to power down. Cute. Real fucking cute. I know, it's a lot. Anyways, I promised a full list of all the patent numbers that I came across, so let me get my big head out of the way and give that to you. Please let us know what you thought about this shit in the comments, because like when I stumbled across it, real shit, I was kind of scared to make this video because it's crazy. But I made it. Because at the end of the day, all of this information that I just told you is public knowledge, and anybody who wanted to spend the time could find this information just like I did. I wasn't looking for it. I stumbled across it, and my mind was blown. I'm sorry, but there's just no way that I could come across some shit like this and not share it with you guys. Like, that's just not me. So let me know what you think about it.